thank you, everyone from the Gulf Coast Chamber of Commerce, my dear Latinos, mi gente. Tonight, this is going to be an awesome night. Why? Because I am so proud to introduce to you a person, not a person, a wizard of everything that has to do with Hispanic culture, everything that has to do with how to build your business when you're here in the United States. Let me tell you like a really quick story. And now he's gonna be like, oh, no, no, no. But when I got into this country, you know how it is. Sometimes you come here without knowing what to do, you trial and error. But when I met this person, he told me something so pivotal that made me change my perspective from zero to no limits, which was this is what he told me the very first time we met. I know you're going to make it because you have everything that it takes. And when someone tells you that, when you don't even know that you have everything that it takes, oh my God, that goes like millions and millions of miles away. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our guest for tonight, which is Antonio Muñiz Olan, Businessman of the Year, not once, but twice, but three times. He's like a powerhouse in whatever it means when you need to build a sustainable business here in this country. It doesn't matter if you just got here or you've already been established here. This is awesome. So I am Johanna Murillo, and I have the pleasure to introduce to you Antonio Muñiz Olan. So can we bring him to the equation? There you go,
Wow.
my friend.
Good to see you, Johanna. Good to see you. I'm
I
so
know we
flattered.
go way back into the day, don't we do?
That's right. That's right. Well,
Yeah.
now you're in the hot. Well, I'm on the hot seat. I guess you're in
Oh,
control.
yeah. I mean, he's always interviewed me. He's always like asked me all these questions to put me out of my zen. And yes, but now I have the pleasure to actually give the favor back, which is to interview you. So I can edify you because you know I love you, man. You're my brother. You're my brother from another mother. You know how it is, like boom. Yes. Yeah, you're my brother from another mother. When I didn't even believe in myself, you were the only person that told me, like, just keep swimming, girl. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep moving forward. We have done like business together. We have like, like took each other's route, but you've always been that constant, even through, and I'm not going to get emotional, even though, but like you've always been that constant that has guided me through what it is to start a business, to start something in this country. So, with that being said, and let's not get too deep down into it, if someone has been in this country for, let's give it a bit of go, like 2 to 3 years, or just arrived, what's the three keys of advice you will give to that person to set themselves up for success?
Well, that's a heavy question, but why not? Let's start there, right? Let's
Yeah, have
start
we
there.
met?
But listen, just this is what I would do myself, and so this is what I would tell someone who's in a similar situation. Number one, you have to be honest about where you are, you know, in your idea, your business, your project. You have to be honest about where you are and have clarity about where you want to go, where you want to be. I think a lot of times, a lot of entrepreneurs, they're so enamored with the potential of their idea or the potential of their business that they skip a lot of steps, and they're not really honest about where they are today. As an example, my idea is to bring this product to the market, and I am confident that year one will do $1 million. But they're not honest about where they are. Today they're at zero. And going from zero to 1 million on any new venture, it takes a lot more work, a lot more energy, a lot more resources, and a lot more time than we think it should. So, so that's number one. Be honest about where you are and have clarity about where you want to go. Number two, make sure that you understand that to achieve success in any scale that is significant, you cannot and will not do this by yourself.
Ooh, can we press
So,
pause right here?
yeah.
because this is where I need to say something. I'm doing a confessional right here. If you meet now, Joe, 2025, where I am right now, and you could assume wrongly that everything has been, like granted at some point, like, okay, I'm here because I'm here. But you and I go deep down, man. I mean, like, we go like deep down from day one. And have you met me where I started and where I am right now? And
Yeah.
you've been one of those people that have been supportive in my journey. Like, if I can count them with the palm of my hand, I will still have like missing fingers, and you will be one of those top 3 people. So with that being said, I wish that someone would have given me that piece of advice that you just did, because now I'm like too deep into the woods that I cannot go back.
Yeah.
I cannot go back. I'm already in it. I mean, there's just one way. It's just like sink or swim. However, if someone just gets here and can get that one of the 3 pieces of advice that I just asked you, that would be gold. If you can start from learning from someone else's journey, so that way you start with, let's go around full circle with a head start, that would be great. And I'm so happy that you shared that, because sometimes we often think that as Hispanics is we did this in Colombia, Ecuador, Venezuela, Peru, whatever you wanted it is. It's going to be easy to transplant that to here. But the
Yeah.
rules of the game are so much different. So long story short, I just want to thank you for make that one of the pivotal things that we need to learn and understand as Hispanics, or in general as a business owner. If you can get that tuition fee, oh my God, how much you're going to save so much time and energy and money.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's super important. So that's number 2. Don't do anything by yourself. Don't pretend that you're going to achieve success at that scale, at the level that at the level of your potential by yourself. It just hasn't happened before, and it's not going to happen because you want it to. And the third thing is, as you're building that team, and this is the very foundational things, right? As you're building that team around you, which, by the way, building a team around you is not about hiring a whole bunch of people to do work for you. That's not it. It can get to that point. It can evolve to that point. But I'm assuming that you're stage 1 entrepreneur. You're just building something and testing something and seeing if the market is going to accept that idea and pay you for it, right? You can accept it and not pay for it. So the third thing is make sure that team includes a law firm. And this is where a lot of people get tripped up, because especially in this country, working with a lawyer can be very, very expensive. The average business attorney will charge around $400, $425 an hour. And most entrepreneurs simply don't have the horsepower, the financial horsepower to cover that cost. So it may seem like a pipe dream to do that. Or maybe somebody in the audience today may be saying, Antonio, that sounds great because you're already further along and you built enough of financial muscle to do that. And while that may be true, but doesn't mean that I waste a lot of money. There are ways of getting a law firm on your team in a way that's simple, affordable, and effective. And that's one of the things that I do as a business solutions consultant. We have different areas in my agency, and that's one of the areas where we make a big impact in the entrepreneurial community, particularly the Latino community.
Yes, because this is the thing that I figure out pretty quickly in my journey, was that back in our countries, like Hispanic, like South America, Central America, we have the legal figure is a bit different. So in which sense? So we have the lawyer that takes care of everything. It's more like a horizontal perspective. While here in the US, which is a very high demand, people will like sue you. He will sue you for like, oh my God, I didn't like this hair right here. Okay, I'm gonna sue you. It's as simple as that. We need to be more careful and mindful of how we protect ourselves, our assets, our businesses, and the people that we care for. So with that being said, in my journey, and I shared this very openly. For me, when we got to meet each other, yeah, we got to meet each other through a business offering, which I thought it was like a no-brainer, which it was, and it is until today, which
Mhm.
was how can I equip myself and protect myself, not only as a business owner, as an individual, and my family behind that, because that's the last thing we think of, especially coming from South America, Central America, where you can cut corners and you can figure it out, and one lawyer is specialized in all of these different areas. But when you come to this country, it's completely different. So you
Yeah.
have to be some way, somehow enabled and empowered to be able to respond whenever something happens. So that's why I am very excited and happy to bring Antonio to this conversation, because this is the conversation I would have loved to have from the get go.
Mhm.
And I didn't. Pardon my French, be feel free to beep the whole situation and ban this, but I got screwed so many times because I didn't know that I can protect myself and my business. So for those people that are here trying to start something because they think they just can, what would be the very first step that they can take in order for them to protect themselves?
I mean, that's a great question. And in fact, I will tell you, I'm going to tell you a little story
Yes, please.
because I'm a product of the product. The reason that I am the way I am today and the way that I can operate with certainty and speed is because I learned how to have the right people around me that not only help me see further ahead that I could do on my own, but while I'm doing that, they're watching my back because I can't look in the forward and backwards at the same time.
Ooh, Antonio, come on, come on, come on. Press pause. Say that again because that's gold right there.
Well, the people around me, they're good people who help me look further, see further ahead. You know, some
Yes.
of them are further ahead than I am. Doesn't have to be in the same business, but they're further ahead than I am, and they can guide me. I can draft behind them, right? Like in Formula One races or
Oh,
NASCAR or
my
you know
language.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know, draft behind people who are going in the right direction, not the one that's going off the cliff. And while I'm doing that and moving forward with speed and certainty, I have part of my team watching my back. Because sometimes somebody told me when I started leading organizations, leading teams, production teams across the US, if your team sees you doing this, they get confused,
Hmm.
right? Because if you're the leader, you're leading and you're looking forward, you have no reason to look back. Okay. If you want to pull somebody with you, you extend your arm and let them hold on. But you're still looking in the direction that you want to go. If you start doing this all the time, people get confused and they stop. Okay. And they question whether or not you know where you're going. So build, the story my story, I'm an engineer. Let's start there. I went to
Yes.
school to become an engineer and have a career in engineering. And I love engineering. I did amazing. It's an amazing career. I love building things, fixing big problems, affecting millions of people. That's my jam, right? So I did that for a long time, for over 12 years. And I love what I was doing. I just didn't love what it was doing to me.
Hmm.
And I will tell you that what I mean by that is that I went through two massive layoffs inside of 5 years.
Ooh.
And not because of my performance, but because somebody looked at a spreadsheet, they need to cut some heads, and off I went. Just like Southwest Airlines just announced recently, they're laying off like 15% of the
I
workforce. I
know.
mean, there's a lot of people going through this. My point is, it's not unique to me. This happens, right? So when this happened, I promised myself and my family that there would not be a third time. So that's what that took me into the entrepreneurship world in 2004. That's 21 years ago. Okay. So I knew what I knew. I knew what I didn't know. And I had a need to perform, produce, and put, food on the table. So I leaned on what I knew. I learned a lot of stuff along the way. But I will tell you, even though we've been blessed with success in different industries, you mentioned I've been named Businessman of the Year twice. I had two separate businesses that were Business of the Year separately on their own. It's I was named one of the top 25 most influential Latinos of Central Florida. This is not to brag, but just to say, look, we've been blessed. We have learned some things along the way. Now, that being said, I made a bunch of mistakes, a bunch. And for translation, that means a lot of mistakes along the way. I will tell you, I signed contracts that I should have never signed. I went into joint ventures without properly vetting the people involved. I went into businesses that I had no business being in business. And those mistakes cost me money. Yes. Cost me time. It elevated my level of stress. And I simply did not know what I didn't know. And I remember being at an event, at a business event. This is when I lived and worked in Cincinnati, Ohio. Believe me or not. Believe me, Cincinnati, Ohio. And so I was commiserating with a guy, saying, man, I'm going through this thing and it's really stressing me out. And this is a simple question that he asked me. What do your law firm say about that? That was simple. And I said, what law firm? He goes, you should have legal advice for this stuff. This has legal consequences. What did your law firm, your lawyer say about this? And I said, man, I don't have one. And he says, why not? I mean, you're running 3 businesses at the same time, which, by the way, I don't recommend. That's what I was doing, but I will not do that again. You have some level of success. I mean, you've been under a bunch of different organizations. I assumed that you knew better. And I said, well, I kind of know better, but it's expensive here, man. I told you in Puerto Rico, like you said, Johanna, attorneys are generalists. Yes. They do multiple things. I'm not saying they're inexpensive, but they're not as expensive as they are here in the U.S. In the U.S., they're specialists. You have estate planning attorneys, you have business attorneys, you have intellectual property people, you have immigration attorneys, you have specialties. So not one attorney can do everything for you. And when you're running a business, you don't know what you're going to face. One day you're going to be looking at, hey, should I sign this lease agreement for this new office space for 3 years? And what's triple net mean? And who's responsible for the buyout? And is the air conditioning units go bad? Who's going to handle that? Who's going to pay for that repair? You got to know this stuff. I did not know those things. And I signed agreements because I had offices in 6 different states. Agreements that were multi-year, and they were personally guaranteed. Nobody told me I shouldn't do that. Nobody told me that there are other ways. And to be fair, it's not their job to find that out. It's my job to find out who has that information, right? So anyway, these are examples of the things that I went through, and yet I overcame, right? But it didn't have to be that difficult. So what I learned through the process, Johanna, is that working with a law firm, having a law firm in your team is imperative, is essential for anyone who's looking to start a business, grow business, scale a business, and eventually exit a business. And the problem is that most entrepreneurs only use attorneys twice, when they start and when they need to get out. Yeah. Nothing happens in the middle. And they're in the middle, they're using Google to make
ChatGPT nowadays.
Oh my God.
Act as a lawyer that specializes in this, and that. Oh my
Good luck with that. God bless you. I hope you have heavy insurance, because you will make some mistakes, because you need to work with professionals, right? I'm not saying that ChatGPT is not useful, but it's not the one tool for everything, including particularly legal, the legal side of your business. Everyone has a legal side of their business. Somebody needs to be watching that and handling that. And I promise you, unless you're an attorney, it should not be you. So that's how I became, aware of a solution. The solution that was presented to me in 2009 was Legal Shield. And some people may have heard the brand because it's not a new brand. It's been around for 52 years. Correct. But here's the reality. They're around 70 million. It depends which data you believe, right? 70 million Latinos in the US, thereabouts. Less than 2% know that this service exists.
Goodness.
So
the other 98% are just walking in the shadows?
Well, they're just unaware. It doesn't mean that they're being negligent with their business. It doesn't mean that they willfully not doing the right thing. They just don't know. They just don't know. So in the people who and the percentage of entrepreneurs who understand the value of having an attorney, they're priced out of that, getting that help, two ways, three ways really. Number one is the cost. If you're on the come up, right? If you're really in the come up in the growth cycle of your business, man, $400 an hour is a lot of money. And nothing takes 1 hour, by the way. So it's very expensive. Number two, you may be intimidated by the process. You may be saying, well, I had a business in Colombia, I had a business in Puerto Rico. I know how to handle that. That's great. Not all of that transfers to US market one-on-one, one-to-one, right? And the process of working with an attorney can be complicated in the US. And the third thing, complicating things a little bit more, is the language barrier. Perhaps you have a rudimentary or working knowledge of English,
yes,
but you would rather communicate in Spanish, at least for emphasis, right? And those three things keep our community from, number one, securing a law firm for their team, for their business. Number two, makes them make a lot of mistakes along the way. And number three, that's why 97% of them are not in business within 5 years. And that's what I'm trying to impact. Early intervention to increase impact of the impact that we should have as a community.
That's a whole pack, but very necessary, because you just nailed it. It's how can we overcome these obstacles in the most informed and accurate way, so therefore we can build sustainable businesses. So okay, this sounds awesome, but what's the solution, Antonio?
The solution I hinted to it is Legal Shield. That's the best solution out there. What is Legal Shield? Imagine having a law firm on your team for about $2 a day. Instead of paying $400 an hour, what if you spend about $400 for the whole year and have unlimited access to some of the best law firms in the US and Canada for a flat monthly fee that you can all afford? Imagine, know what I know now. Don't you say that all the time now as you get more mature? If I knew that what I know now, right? Maybe one day you'll get there, because
I'm getting younger by the day. But go ahead. Yes,
it's all I want. If you tell me, if Johanna, you met me today, and you said, "Mira, Antonio, I want to show you something. Here's this app. You can install it on your phone. You download it for free. But if you choose to subscribe to it, it's going to display just one button, just one, not 10, one button. And it's when you press that button, you can make an appointment to talk to an attorney about any type of legal question that you may have in any area of law. And that attorney is not going to charge you for that. If all you tell me is that, I'm just going to ask you how much. And if you tell me it's $200 a month, I will buy 6 of them if I need to, because it's that valuable, because of the things that I've gone through, and because of the things I've seen entrepreneurs go through every single day, because I don't have the right information. Yeah. So Legal Shield says, not only am I going to give you that, but I'm going to give you a whole menu of things. If you need to go, you never have to sign a contract that you don't understand anymore. Just send it to me, send it to us. We'll review it. We'll tell you what's what, and we tell you whether or not you should sign it. And we'll tell you whether or not you should add something to or remove something for the contract before you execute it. Or we'll tell you to run away from that opportunity. Never again would you have to worry about, look, I provided a product or a service, we agreed on a price, and the person's not paying me. And I don't really have the time to chase that person because they owe me $5,000. But I heard, ese es el problema. I heard that an attorney is going to want $5,000 just to take the case. So why would I pay $5,000 to get $5,000? That's ridiculous. I'm going to let that go. What if you had an attorney, a law firm that said, John, don't worry about it. We're going to give me the information, give me the contract, give me the contact of that person. I'm going to go get your money. You go back to work.
Yeah.
And not charge you for it. and not keep any percentage of what they recover for you.
Yeah.
What if you, I don't know, maybe you drive commercial trucks, you commercial driver. If your driving record is not clean, you're going to have a hard time getting insurance. And if you don't have insurance, you're not moving. If you're not moving, you're not earning. What if you had a law firm handling that stuff for you and making sure that they keep your driving record clean? Things like that. That all these people in our community are not worried about changes in potential changes. The word is potential changes in TPS. Temporary protected status. Look, a lot of people making decisions are panicking over noise that they hear in social media, on the radio, on TV. Why don't you talk to your attorney? Because it's expensive. What if it's not expensive? What if you get access to an immigration attorney to talk about anything you want to talk about your situation and not get a bill? Is that worth it for you? Is that worth it for your family? Is that worth it for your business? That's what we bring to the table. And when people are making decisions with the right information and certainty, they can move faster in the direction of their goals. So that's what I'm here to do. That's why I joined this chamber, because I want to make sure that people know that this exists and they can make an informed decision. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. And that's what you just closed it perfectly. Because oftentimes we make decisions based on I'm going to do some Spanglish here, of the es que me dijeron, es que me pasó esto, es que, like the whys, the what ifs, what's nots, instead of making an informed decision based on facts, not by a notary. Because that's another thing that we need to discuss very shortly. I'm going to try to keep it very, very, very short. But remember, back in our countries, the notary, in order to become a notary, needs to be a judge prior to, and before that, it needs to be a lawyer. In this country, not so much. It's a whole different game. But people do not know this. So if you can have not just a lawyer, but a whole law firm specialized in every single industry that you might need in order to make your business and your life succeed, oof, that's beauty. But oftentimes we just do not even know which questions to ask, if it's appropriate and if it's not. So, I got a question. So, are you an attorney?
That's
Please
a great
answer
question.
that, because I know that everybody asks that question.
Yeah,
but go
absolutely.
ahead.
And thank you for asking that, because I should have started with that. I am not an attorney, and I do not
He looks
provide
like one, doesn't
legal
he?
advice. No. I respect the profession. I have a lot of respect for the work that they do. I'm an engineer. I solve problems. I am the person who educates the marketplace and how to best utilize law firms across the US and Canada without spending a fortune doing it. We have over 6,000 attorneys in our provider network across the US and Canada, ready to help, to serve versus bill. So that's what I do. I educate the marketplace and connect them with the best attorney law firm for our clients.
And let me tell you something, Antonio. Before we became friends, we became business accolades, partners, and what's not. But something that I would never forget, it's that when I met you at a point where I already went through a stressful situation where me as a marketer, I got scammed, where they were demanding and taking the work out of that we already developed without getting paid. And the only thing that I said, I wish I would have known you 2 weeks before I went through this ordeal in order for me to make an informed, educated decision. But then again, sometimes we don't even know which questions to ask, or because the whole circumstance is different. So with that being said, what will be the last final encompassing advice that you would give to someone that is trying to start his business, especially the people that are part of the chamber that sometimes come to this country with a lot of hopes, dreams, hoping to build up, and those who are already building? How can you find a way to set yourself for success?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to have this conversation and be on the other side of the questions.
I've been waiting.
But listen, it goes back to the basic, the foundational stuff. Number one, make sure that you have clarity of vision, honesty about where you are, clarity about where you're going or what you want to be. Number two, don't try to do everything on your own. Okay, make sure that you have good people around you. Identify good people. Where do you find good people? Find out where good people congregate. Chamber of Commerce. That's one place where you can find resources.
Ding, ding,
right?
ding. Yes.
Right. I'm here, right? That doesn't mean that I'm special because of it. I got to go where the people are, the people who I need to connect with. And number three, make sure that you build a really good team that includes a law firm, because this is what you're doing. You're trying to, why do people become entrepreneurs? Some people say it's to make a lot of money or the prestige or to become famous, whatever. Look, here's the bottom line. You want to create a better present and future for your family. That's it. That's the essence of why people do this. So understand that this is already a high risk occupation, right? Don't add more risk by doing it on your own. So that's super risky, right? Everything depending on you for everything, that's super risky. So make a decision that you're not going to be alone or do it by yourself anymore. Make a decision that you're going to build a team that includes a law firm, because now it doesn't have to be expensive. There's a way. And make a decision to skill up. Every day you need to get better at something related to your business, a new skill, a new piece of knowledge, a new type of executable knowledge, right? And I don't know if that was 3 or 4, but we're going to call it 4. 4 is...
Bring it, brother. Bring it. Everything, it's like learning lessons and curves. Go ahead.
Get in the community, man. You got to find a community like this chamber, right? For 2 reasons. Well, 3. Number 1, that's where the resources are. You're going to find people who are going through similar things and they're further along than you are. That's how you learn faster. Number 1, resources. Number 2, you're going to find support because you have commonality in many ways, right? We're all trying to make it big here. We didn't come this far to come this far, right? We didn't leave our countries to kind of be average in the US. We came here to win. And number 3, so you get the support. And number 3, you get accountability. We all need accountability. That's the space, that's an environment, a community of entrepreneurs that Johanna tells me, and she can tell you about this. She tells me that her goal is X. And every time I ask her, how close are you getting to that goal? You say you will be here by 12 months. We're at the 6-month mark. Are you halfway there or better? And she can hem and haw all she wants, but I'm going to ask her until she gives me a number, And then if she gives me a number that I don't like, I say, are you bragging or are you complaining? Let's figure this out, because I know you can do this. It's just you haven't done it. So that's the accountability that you need to have. All of us need to have. I need that. And your friends, your spouse, your partner is not the right person for that. You need to be in an environment where there's a little bit of space between you, relationship-wise, right? And the people can be honest and without being mean. And be positive and encouraging and supportive. So that's what I tell you to do. Those things, man, clarity, don't do it on your own. Make sure you have a team with a law firm, skill up every day, and join a community where you can get support, accountability, and you can be around positive people.
Thank you, Antonio. That's the community that we're trying to build here at the Gulf Coast Hispanic Latin Chamber. And you just said a word like spouse, but what you guys do not know, that the part that I love about Antonio is not Antonio, it's his spouse. She's freaking awesome, and you can agree. Cynthia, I'm sending you a big kiss. Man, you know that I'm a fan. You're awesome, because you guys are a power couple, and it's equally important who you are traversing with. If it's like your home partner, but also the community or the tribe that you build around yourself that is going to equip you and enable you to achieve success. So that's what we're aiming for here at the Chamber. So thank you so much, Antonio. It's been a thrill to finally, after like maybe 4 years, be the one to ask the questions, because you get to always ask me the questions. But I would like to think this is not the last time that we're going to do this. And you also have a community and a network that you're growing, which you hear more about as we keep having these conversations. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And cannot wait to see you on our next episode. Thank you, Antonio, for bringing all this wisdom. And I cannot wait to get to see you again and share some cafecito.
Cafecito.